Hey, welcome back to Matt again. My name is Rampage and this is Gaming News. This article is, Condemned 3 development could be passed on to an independent studio or indie studio. Alright. So, according to the former Monolith Production CEO Jace Hall, the series could be gifted to an interested independent developer. Fuck off phone. Since I am focused on other things, and will be for quite some time, this franchise is just sitting there, Hall wrote on his Facebook page. I'm contemplating finding an interested and independent or proven independent developer and providing it to them so that they can take over the franchise and move it forward. As an indie, it can be very hard to get marketing or media attention for a title that you work on. This franchise is already known, or quite known, has market demand, and is in an innovative genre category. Now, I'll get into all of this after I go through the last bit here. Hal asked followers whether he should explore the idea further, to which I don't know what this word means. You can actually go to the article. I don't know how to say this word, but I'm not even going to try. The majority responded with, yes, of course, hurry up, do it now. Alright, so would this be a good idea for Monolith Productions, or Monolith Studios, whatever the hell they're called, Productions, I think, to outsource Condemned? Would that be a good idea? Now, for me, I see the horror genre or thriller genre to be completely different, right? Obviously they are, because they are classed differently with movies. So the reason why I add that is because most horror games, or considered horror games, that come out recently, like Amnesia, Among the Sleep, or any of those others, like Evil Within, whatnot, all of those games, right? They aren't really genuinely scary. Now, what makes a horror game or horror experience that much better than a thriller experience? Thrillers are mostly built of jump scares. Horror was, in terms of movies anyway, was considered more like a grudgy, dirty, gory, and scary genre. So, if you're going to fill your game up with, jump scares, barely have blood, barely have anything to do with a scary environment or scary game itself, then your game is not or shouldn't be considered a horror game. Now, I don't see any of these games that have come out in the last 2 years at least to be considered horror games, simply because 1, I wasn't scared enough, 2, I actually wanted to play them, and 3, it's just not horror. Jump scares are not horror. Yes, it's a form of fear, or a fear tactic, but yet it's not, I don't know, just, sure, horror games or horror movies do have jump scares, but the reason horror movies are so, so good, or most of them are actually quite shit, but the reason why people watch them is to get scared. That is the reason why people play horror games. I don't care whether it's got a story or not. If it does have a story, that makes the experience so much better. But if it doesn't, and you're relying on jump scares, then I feel that it's kind of like a waste of time, because it's basically the same shit over and over again, or just different scares, just the same garbage. If I'm not worried to play that game, then you're not doing your job correctly, because most of the time, if I'm wanting to watch a horror movie or wanting to play a horror game, it's not scary enough. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so in terms of bringing it to an independent developer, I don't know. It depends on who they give it to. If they give it to, the Amnesia developer, then maybe. But I feel that if they do that, they'll still have the Amnesia feel. They wouldn't really have that Condemned feel that everybody has known to love, But for me, I never played Condemned 2. I do have Condemned 1 on PC, but for some reason, Condemned 2 was only on Xbox in Australia. I've no idea. Actually, I don't even think it came to Australia, to be honest. I don't remember. It's been a while. But yeah. It would have been great if that game actually came to PC in Australia, or even in Australia. I can't remember. I remember seeing the first one on Xbox 360, but the second one, no idea. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think it would be a good idea depending on the developer, or do you think that they should go with a AAA studio, you know, with a bigger budget? Because I don't know, because I just see the horror genre as kind of flatlining. Like, a lot of people consider the horror genre as a booming industry, right? But then they don't really have horror. If I'm not scared, it's not a horror game. You may as well just call it a fucking walking simulator with some kind of jump scares. Because that's essentially what most of these games are, especially the independent developers. The independent games have been basically that. And it's like, well, sure, some people will consider jump scares as a horror experience, but overall, it's not. If you actually look at it by genre, it's technically a thriller genre. Most of these so-called horror games. So, yeah. I would actually like to be scared for once. Like, actually feeling like I'm scared. Not because it's just fucking dark, or because I have no light, or, you know, some other garbage gameplay mechanic that's kind of making me hindered to play the game. I just want to feel scared while I'm playing a horror game, and I don't feel that, you know? I'm looking for it, but I haven't felt that. I haven't played Evil Within, so I might change my mind there, or Alone in the Dark, which recently got ported to PC, I think last year. I do have a dickload of, you know, horror games on PC, but most of them I just don't really care for. or it's filled with the same jump scare shit, like the Caffeine demo. All jump scares. I don't feel scared while playing that game at all. So, yeah, there's got to be some line in terms of actually calling it a horror game and calling it a thriller game. Because a lot of developers just see, oh, it's got some jump scares in it, fuck it, we'll just call it a horror game. It's not the case, man. They're completely two separate genres. They mean two separate things. But anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed my video. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Remember to check out my gaming channel before you leave. Hope to see you there. Peace out.